Shiva Mahapuranam, Vidyesvara Samhita, Chapter 18, Glory of Sivalinga. The Rishi said, O Suta, you are well versed in all the topics, therefore you speak to us on the subject of the bondage as well as the release from the same. Suta said, O ascetics, I am going to explain the bondages as well as the methods used for the release therefrom or redemption from these bondages. You better listen to me with respect. Because of the remaining in 8 types of fetters, the soul is called the Jiva. When a person is freed from these bondages, the person is called redeemed. The controlling of the bondages of Prakriti and others is called self-redemption or liberated. The one who is caught in the bondages is called the Jiva, and the one who is freed of the bondage is called redeemed. Prakriti comprises of wisdom. After wisdom is the gunat, gunatnaka ahamkara and the pancha tanmatras, 5 subtle rudiments of 5 elements. All these 8 when combined are called Prakriti. The body is formed by the 8 beings. The activities of the body are called the karmas. Then the process of karmas from the body and the body from the karmas starts. The body is of 3 types, viz. Gross, subtle and casual. The gross body relates to the worldly affairs. The subtle body is meant for the pleasures of the organs of senses. The casual body is meant for soul's performance due to the karmas. The karmas deeds are the cause of pleasure or pain, sins and the merits. Therefore, the jiva, after having been bound with the rope of karmas, again and again wanders in the 3 types of bodies like a wheel. In order to avoid the wandering of the jiva, always like a will, one should adore Jagadishvara, who is the creator of the universes. There are the 8 Mahachakras, including Prakriti. Shiva is beyond these chakras. Because Shiva, the creator of the chakra of the universe, is beyond Prakriti, as a living child drinks water and then vomits it, similarly, Shiva also has overpowered Prakriti. The entire universe has been controlled by him. Therefore, he is called Shiva. Shiva is omniscient, complete, and free from desires. Because of his being omniscient, is called Anadi Bodha. Because of the freedom possessed by him, he is conceived with the visible price. He is the price of Maheshwara beyond measure. His mental fortunes are known only to 2 Vedas. Because of this, Prakriti and other elements could be controlled by the grace of Shiva. For gaining the grace of Shiva, he should be adored. How can one adore the complete and without desire Lord Shiva? Therefore, the deeds which are performed for the sake of Shiva, he feels pleased with the same. One should adore Shiva in the form of linga, image. His devotees take them as Shiva. Then he should be adored by the speech, body, mind, and with the offering of riches. Mahesha, who lives beyond Prakriti, bestows his special grace in his devotee when he adores him. With the grace of Shiva, one can exercise all the control over all the things when everything from Prakriti to the karmas is controlled. And that very moment, the devotee is freed and he becomes the Supreme Spirit. By the grace of the Lord, when this Karma Deha comes under control, a person who then lives in Shiva Loka, achieves Salokya Mukti. By exercising control over the Tanmatras, subtle essence of five elements, one achieves the closeness of Shamba, Ardhanarishvara. Thereafter, he achieves closeness of Shiva by means of ayudhas, trident, etc. With the achievement of the food offered to the deity, even the wisdom comes under control. Wisdom is the job of Prakriti, which is called Sharshti, the one having similar place and power. Then, with the Maha Prasada, cooked food offered to the deity, even Prakriti also is controlled. Then the mental fortunes of Shiva are achieved without much effort. By achieving the fortunes of Shiva, like omniscience, the devotee looks graceful in himself. The same has been termed by the Vedas and post-Vedic literature as Sayujya salvation. In the same sequence, by adoring Linga, etc., one achieves salvation automatically. Therefore, for the achieving the pleasure of Shiva, he should be adored appropriately. By adoring Shiva, offering the lotus flowers, a devotee achieves Shiva Loka. The knowledge of Shiva, meditation of Shiva should be practiced by a devotee regularly from morning to the time of sleep or going to bed. One should always keep Shiva in mind. The rishis said, O Subrata Suta, what is the process of the adoration of the Linga? You kindly speak out the same to us. Suta said, O Brahmanas, I am going to speak out to you. The process of adoring Shiva in the form of Linga in a sequence which should be listened by you. You listen to the same quite attentively. Of all the Lingas, Pranavalinga happens to be the first. Shiva is the subtle form or formless of Pranava, whereas the gross Linga is associated with the time. The same is also called Panchakshara. The adoration of both of them is called the tapas, which bestow moksha. There are several lingas made by human efforts as well as the natural ones. Their detailed account could be provided by Shiva himself and by none else. But whatever is known to me about the Parthiva Linga or the Linga of clay, the same is being repeated by me to you. The first is Swayambhu Linga, the second is Bindu Linga, the third category includes the lingas which are consecrated, and the fifth category comprises of the Guru Linga. With the performing of the tapas by the ascetics and the gods, Lord Shiva was pleased to grant closeness to them. He lives on earth in the form of the seed and sound nada. As the seed sprouts piercing through the land, similarly the linga which is self-born is called Swayambhu. With the adoring of such a type of linga, one achieves wisdom automatically. A linga made in gold, silver, earth, or which is drawn over a pedestal with one's own hand, or writing the spotless pranava mantra over a yantra, should be consecrated by invoking. This happens to be movable and immovable forms of Bindulinga. This is totally emotional, and this way one comes face to face with Shiva. The one who believes in Shiva, he is surely rewarded by him. The yantras written in one's own hand, immovable or at the natural place, should be adored after invoking the Lord. By doing so, one achieves the fortunes, and by practicing the same, one achieves wisdom. The linga, which is consecrated by the gods and the ascetics for their own success, reciting the mantras in the auspicious mandala with the spotless emotions, it is called the Paurasha Linga, or the consecrated one. By daily adoring such a linga, one achieves courage and fortunes. The intelligent Brahmanas, the kings or the Kshatriyas or wealthy people, when get a linga prepared by the artisans, the consecrating it with the reciting of the mantras is called the Prakrita Linga. By adoring it, one achieves the natural fortunes. The one which possesses the prowess, being everlasting, the same is called Paurusha Linga. The one which is weak and impermanent, it is called Prakrita Linga. The Adhyatmika spiritual chara moving should be consecrated over Linga, navel, tongue, tip of the nose, from the tuft of the waist, heart, and the face. Paurusha Linga should be lodged in a mountain, while the Prakrita Linga should be lodged on earth. Further, the Paurusha Linga should be lodged in a tree, and Prakrita Linga should be lodged in a shrub. The Linga in the form of Sathi rice is called Prakrita Linga, and the one made by paddy or the wheat should be treated as Paurusha. With the consecrating of the Paurusha Linga, one achieves fortunes as well as the 8 siddhis like anima, etc. The learned people say that by adoring the Prakrita Linga, one achieves a good wife and enormous riches. Rasalinga is considered to be the best among the movable lingas. With the adoring of the Rasalinga, all the desires of the Brahmana are fulfilled. The Banalinga bestows the Kshatriyas with kingship. The gold linga earns enormous riches for the Vaishyas. The linga made in stone purifies even the Shudras. The crystal linga as well as the Banalinga fulfill the desires of all. In case the linga prescribed for a particular caste is not available, any other linga could worshipped. The Parthiva linga is more important for the women whose husbands are alive. The widows who are engaged in the worldly activities, the adoration of the crystal linga has been prescribed. The widows who are free from the worldly activities, the rasa linga is the best. O sages, during the childhood, youthful age, and the old age, the spotless and the auspicious linga of crystal stone fulfills all their desires. The women who are desirous of the worldly pleasures, the adoration of the Pitha or the pedestal of the linga is more beneficial to them. A devotee, having been inspired by the preceptor, should perform all types of adoration. At the end of the Abhisheka, the Naivedya of best quality of cooked rice should be offered. After the completion of the linga's worship, it should be placed in a vase and kept separately. The Brahmanas who have become free from the adoration should then be served with food. Those who have renounced the world, they should adore the subtle linga. It should be adored with ashes, which should also be offered to it. After adoration, the linga should be placed over the head. The vibhutis, ashes, are of 3 types, viz. Loka, Veda, and the one produced by Shivagni. The ashes of the worldly fire are meant for the cleaning of the vases. The worldly fire purifies the dust, iron, cereals, sesame, and other things besides the costumes and the leftover or withered things. The things polluted by the dog could also be purified with the ashes. It could be used with or without water. The ashes of the domestic fire is called Vedagni Bhasma. It should be collected at the end of the function. The fire produced by mantras and action is called Karmagni, which turns into ashes. With the application of the ashes over the body, one is bestowed with the influence of the relative karmas. The fire in the wood of the wood apple trees should with the Vedic Aghora mantra. This is called Shivagni, which also produces pure ashes. With the igniting of the Shivagni fire, with the cow dung of the white or cow of any other color, wood of sami, thorny shrubs, holy fig tree, palasa, bitia, fromdosa, banyan, amaltasa, cassia, fistula, and the wood apple trees when burnt in Shivagni, and the ashes produced therefrom are treated as pure. Or otherwise, by burning of wood in the Durvagni and then refining it should be put it in a new pitcher. This type of ash should be applied over the body for the purpose of grace, and by doing so, a person gains respect and glory. Shiva had initially defined the bhasma ashes thus: as the king accepts taxes for the people as the gist, as a person takes other gist of it by husking of the paddy, as the stomach fire which digests food, burns the food consumed by a person, and using its essence keeps the body healthy. Similarly, Lord Shiva, who creates the entire universe, burning the delusion with him, accepts its essence. Then he applies the ashes of the delusion over his body. With the application of the ashes over his body, he carries the essence of the world with him. He has used his gem in the form of the ashes over his body. With the essence of the sky, his hair emerged, and with the essence of the wind, his mouth was formed. The heart was formed with essence of the fire, and the essence of the water produced the west. The thighs were created with the essence of the earth. All his limbs were thus formed. Tripundra, three lines drawn over the head, is the essence of Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, and Tilakam over the head stands for Maheshwara. As Lord Shiva is considered to be all competent in the expansion of the earth, similarly, the entire earth has been overpowered by Shiva. Therefore, there is none else to overpower him. Only Shiva is there. As a lion is the killer of all the wild animals, and there is none else to kill it. Because of this, it is called Simha. Sam stands for eternal pleasure, E stands for blissful, Purusha, Va stands for Shakti, and the nectar. With the combination of all the three letters, the word Shiva is formed. Therefore, the soul should be adored in the form of Shiva. Before the start of the adoration of Shiva, one should apply ashes over his body. Draw Tripundra, three horizontal lines over the forehead. During the time of adoration, one should take ashes with water. One should take ashes without water for self purification. Whether it is day or night, irrespective of being a man or a woman, one should mix ashes with water and then place it over the forehead in three horizontal lines. One who adores Shiva with a Tripundra over his forehead, he achieves the entire reward of the adoration of Shiva. The one who applies the ashes over his body, reciting the Shiva mantra, he belongs to the best ashrama. The one who feels absorbed in Shiva, he is called Shivagni. A person who is engaged in the vrata of Shiva, he neither attracts impurity nor the defilement caused by the birth or death. One should apply ashes over the forehead and tilakam of the dust. This could be done by a person himself or through his preceptor. This is the symptom of the devotee of Shiva. Gu stands for gunas or merits, and Ru stands for planting. Therefore, the preceptor who plants the virtues in the disciples is called Guru. This is the formation of the word. The one who himself is without blemish removes the rajogunas of the disciples. He is called Gunatita, or the one who is free from all the properties, the Parama Shiva. Otherwise, when a preceptor Removing all the three sattva, rajas, and tamas gunas from the trusted pupils bestows the complete knowledge of Shiva. In them, he could be called as a preceptor in the true sense of the term. Therefore, the body of the Guru is called Gurulinga. By adoring the same, one achieves the reward for serving the Guru. The one who obeys the spoken command is called Susrusha, which should be followed by action, thought, and behavior. Whatever be the command of the preceptor, and whether the pupil is competent to obey it or not, the one who with the pure and auspicious soul performs it, even at the cost of his life or wealth, he is considered to be a true pupil and well disciplined. The suitable pupil should give away something which is useful for the body to the preceptor, including the eatables. He should then consume it with the permission of the preceptor. Being capable enough, the pupil is always called the son, because with the tongue as the linga and the semen in the form of mantra is poured into the ears like the yoni, the mantra emerges in the form of a son. Therefore, he should always adore the preceptor. The father produces the son in the world. The preceptor as a father, with the bestowing of wisdom and knowledge, makes the pupil to cross the ocean of the universe. Therefore, realizing the difference between the two, one should adore the preceptor like the father. A pupil should serve the body of the preceptor with the wealth earned by him, because the body of the preceptor from top to bottom is considered to be the form of Shiva. A pupil should adore his preceptor with the sandals in the form of wealth, pressing of the feet, bathing him, performing of abhisheka, offering of naivedya, and the food. In fact, the adoration of the preceptor is the adoration of Shiva. All the materials which are remnants of the service of the preceptor purify the soul. The padarthas made of cereals and water which are left after the adoration of the preceptor are like the left over of Shiva. Therefore, O Brahmanas, they should be consumed by the devotees of Shiva or the pupils. The things which are accepted by the pupils without the consent of the preceptor, it amounts to stealing. The specialist preceptor should be honored as such with much efforts. The removal of ignorance is the duty of the preceptor, which could be done by a special preceptor. For the successful completion of the job without interruption, one should make efforts for the removal of the obstructions. A deed performed completely without obstruction becomes successful. Therefore, at the start of all the functions, Ganesha should be essentially adored. A learned person should, for the removal of all the obstructions, adore all the gods, and by doing this, all the ailments like fever, pain of joints, outer, and the spiritual diseases get removed. The appearing of Pishacha, jackal, white ant, sudden fall of the lizard, tortoise, snake, evil woman, observing the birth of a child given by a woman, or the littering of a calf by a cow, and indicative of the future misfortune, and are called the material sins. The inauspicious thing, like the falling of Vajra or epidemic, deadly fever, cholera, foot disease in cows, measles, influence of evil planets in the constellation of birth, exercising of the influence of the evil planets over the zodiac cycle, witnessing of the evil dreams, are called the miseries brought by the evil spirit or the fate. In case one enters the house by touching the dead body, Chandala, and the degraded people, or facing such types of calamities indicative of misfortune, a person with wisdom should perform yajna for the subsiding of these evils. One should make square pedestal 2 feet in height in a temple, cowshed, place of yajna, or courtyard of the abode, decorating it at the same time. A bhara, 100 seers barley, should be spread. In between, decoration should be made with lotus flowers on all the sides. The thread should be placed around the pitcher, and incense as well as the gugulu should be burnt inside the pitcher. Similar types of 4 pitchers should be placed in each directions. The mango leaves with branches should be placed in the pitchers, reciting the mantras together with the 5 dravyas: cloves, aguru, ground nutmeg, and camphor. Besides, the 9 gems should also be placed in the pitchers. For this purpose, the Brahmana, with his wife well versed in the performance of the yajna, should be invoked. Thereafter, the gold images of Vishnu and Indra should be placed in each one of the pitchers. Over the pitcher, in the center, a complete or filled vase should be placed. Vishnu should be invoked in it and adored appropriately. In the eastern and other directions, Indra and the respective gods should be adored, and adding Namaha after the 4th inflection of their names. The invocation and other types of puja should be performed by the Acharya. One should himself also recite those mantras with the priest. O intelligent people, after the completion of the japam towards the west of the pitchers, one should give the offerings of 1,00,000,000, 1,00,000, 1,000, or 100. The homa should be performed for a day, 9 days, or collectively according to the time and the country. For the purpose of peace, the homa of thorny shrub, sami, and for livelihood, homa of palasha should be performed. The small sticks, food, and ghee should be poured in the homa by the reciting of the mantras. The dravya with which the homa is started should be used up to the end. After getting the punya havachana done, then the water of the pitcher should be sprinkled everywhere. At the end, food should be served to the brahmanas on the basis of the offerings of the fire. The acharyas and the priests should be served with the food. After the completion of the homa, sun and the planets should be worshipped besides the priests, and the dakshina of 9 gems should be given in due course. Thereafter, one should perform 10 types of charities besides donating of the land. These charities should be extended to brahmacharis, the householders, as well as those living in the forest. The charities should be given to the unmarried girls, the virtuous woman, and thereafter the widows. The material offered in the adoration should entirely be given to the acharyas. Yama happens to be the lord of epidemics as well as the misfortunes. Therefore, an image of Kala should be given in order to please Yama. An image weighing a nishka, 108 tolas, or 10 nishks of the life size should be made with a noose and an ankusha in his hands shown as his attributes. This image should be given to a brahmana with dakshina. Thereafter, for the enjoying of the full age, sisamam should be given. Then, pouring ghee in a bronze vase, one should look his face therein and give it away for the removal of the disease. A person who is well off should feed a 1,000 brahmanas, while a person not so well off should feed 100 brahmanas. A poor person for want of money, should feed as many brahmanas as he can. For the pleasing of the goblins and pretas, Bhairava should be adored. At the end, Mahabhisheka of Shiva should be performed, offering him Naivedya at the same time. Thereafter, the Brahmanas should be fed. With the performing of the yajna in this way, all the blemishes are removed. This Shanti yajna should be performed yearly in the month of Phalguna. With the inauspicious vision, one should perform Shanti yajna for a month at once. In case some grave sin is committed, one should adore Bhairava for its removal. Because of the disturbance created by some terrific epidemic, one should take a resolve again. A poor person having little money with him should give away a lamp in charity. In case one is unable to do even that much, then he should give away something as he can after taking a bath. He should offer salutation to the sun reciting the Shiva mantra 108 times. Or otherwise, he should offer salutations 1,000, 10,000, a lakh or a crore of times to the sun. With this namaskara yajna, also the gods are pleased. Then he should pray, O Lord Shiva, I have dedicated my intelligence to your Saguna form. Now it does not stick to your Nirguna or absolute form, and whatever pride I possessed has been removed because of an audience with you. I offer my salutation at your feet with my body. O Lord, you are great. O Lord, you are great. My body happens to be your form only. I am humble. O Lord, you are great. My body is your form. Therefore, it is not Shunya. Presently, I am your slave. Thus, praying, one should complete his Atma Yajna, offering his salutation, the food, and betel to him. One should go round Shiva 108 times and make others to do so 1,000, 10,000, a lakh, or a crore of times. By circumambulating Shiva, all the sins are washed out in a moment. Ailment is the root of the pain, and the root of ailment is the sin. The sin is washed out with dharma, which has been prescribed in the scriptures. The deed which is performed to please Shiva destroys the sins. In the Shiva Dharma, there is the special importance for the circumambulation. The recitation of Omkara with activity is the sort of the best circumambulation. The birth and death are said to be Maya Chakras, but the Maya Chakra is said to be the Bali Pitha. Starting from the Bali Pitha, moving 2 feet forward, reaching close to the Bali Pitha, one should offer his salutation. This is called circumambulation, which is the cause of the birth, whereas the salutation amounts to complete surrender. One should dedicate both his birth and the death of the Maya illusion of Shiva. When one dedicates this conflict to Shiva, then the soul is freed from both of them. Till such time the body is governed by the activity. Up to that time, because of its remaining in bondage, it is called Jiva. Because of its remaining in the bondage, it is called Jiva. When it overpowers all the 3 types of the bodies, then he achieves salvation. Lord Shiva, the creator of Kala Chakra, is the main reason for the same. Therefore, when the conflict of Maya or illusion is offered to Shiva himself, then he himself relieves his devotee of his Maya. Shiva has created the conflict in the universe. Therefore, the same should be dedicated to him. O people with wisdom, Shiva likes circumambulation and the salutation the most. The Mahapuja of Lord Shiva, performed by 16 methods, circumambulation and salutation, yields auspicious reward. There is no sin in the world which cannot be removed or destroyed with the circumambulation of Shiva. Therefore, you should destroy all the sins by going round Shiva. A speechless person engaged in the adoration of Shiva earns the merits or truthfulness, tapas, wisdom, and meditation. Besides the superhuman power, divine body, knowledge, removal of ignorance, closeness of Shiva, and other noble merits. This is the result of the such deeds. With the activity, the ignorance is lost, and removing the sins created by the inspiration of Brahman. Throughout the birth, the devotee of Shiva should engage himself in the activities suited to time, country, strength of the body, and the riches. A person with wisdom should live in the Kshetra region of Shiva with the earnings of fair means. He should not resort to the killing of the jivas, nor should he create trouble for others. With the reciting of Panchakshara mantra, the water and the food are purified. For a pauper, the food received in charity has been said to be the bestower of wisdom and knowledge. For a devotee of Shiva, the food received in charity increases his devotion in the Lord. The food received by Shiva yogis compares with the prasada received from Shiva yajna. Where the devotee of Shiva lives on earth should consume the pure food. He should keep quiet and should never reveal the secrets of Shiva. He should enlighten the people over the glory of Shiva. In fact, no one knows about the secrets of Shiva's mantra except Shiva himself. A devotee of Shiva should always live close to Sivalinga. O Brahmanas, by taking refuge in a motionless linga of Shiva, his devotee turns like Shiva. By adoring the movable linga, a devotee is surely relieved of the cycle of the birth and death. Thus, in this chapter, the best of the means of devotion as well as attainment of salvation have been discussed. Whatever had been spoken by Vyasa earlier and whatever had been heard by me from him, the same has been repeated by me before you in totality. Let you and I meet welfare with this, and let your faith in Shiva be stronger. A person who goes through this chapter or listens to it, O great souls, he, by the grace of Shiva, achieves the jnana of Shiva. Iti Shri Shiva Mahapurane Prathamayang Vidyesvara Samhitayang Sivalinga Mahatmya Varnanang Nam Ashtadasha Adhyayah.